Hello viewers, welcome back to Code Communicate with Glutech. Today's video is for the learners who are a non-tech person. Basically, if you are a beginner and you are completely from a non-tech background, then this video will be very helpful for you because in this video we will be covering all the very basic concepts that is necessary for programming language. Okay, so uh, we will be doing some, concepts that will that act as a building block of programming, right? So let's start. Okay, so I think you can see the screen, right? Okay. So, first of all, we will start with what is Python. Okay, so in today's scenario, what happens whenever you want to know about anything, what we do, we just go and Google it, correct? So, when you will go and Google what is Python, the very basic definitions that you will get is that it is a very widely used, interpreted, object-oriented, high level programming language with dynamic semantics, and it is used for general purpose programming. It is very easy to learn. It is in demand programming language, right? So these are the things that you will get. But what do you mean by that, right? So when we say it is interpreted, so why we say Python is an interpreted language? Because in Python, we use interpreter as a translator. So we have discussed in our previous video also like what is the need of translator. So I will just give a quick recap. Basically, what happens? Computer only understands machine language, that is binary language, 0 and 1 format, right? And it cannot understand our language, that is our English language, correct? So it needs a translator so that we can communicate, correct? So interpreter is the name of the translator that is used for the communication between us and the computer, correct? Now we say object oriented because if you have heard like C++, Java, these are also object oriented language. Basically it has all thing revolves around object. Okay, and we have some concepts that consist in Python that makes it an object-oriented language. Okay, we will discuss, more deeply later about object-oriented. Now, high-level programming language, as I said, that it is a very easy language because it is a high-level programming language. What do you mean by that? Because it's more close to English language. So even if you don't have any knowledge of programming, and you will read one or two line of code, you can have a guess that okay, this line of code maybe will do this work. Okay, so you can have a guess. Okay, while if you will compare with the other languages, you can't even guess, or you cannot even imagine that what this line of code will do. Correct. And we say it is a general purpose programming language because Python is a language that is used for everything, like for software development, website development, scripting, designing, everything. While if you will see like HTML, CSS, they are only used for designing purpose. Correct. We say dynamic semantics because in Python, while declaring any variable, you don't need to declare the data type of the variable. So whatever the value you will assign to the variable, according to that, it will automatically assign the data type. Okay. So this is the basic things about Python. Now, coming towards the history of Python, so basically we are not going to learn the dates and the year in the history. We will just see who has, created this language, when it is created, correct? So mainly Python was created by Mr. Rossum and it was released in February 20, 1991. It itself written in C language. Okay, it was developed in Python Software Foundation, developed by Python Software Foundation, and the main reason to develop this language is the code readability. As I said that it is high level language, it is very close to English, right? So it's very easy to understand, and its syntax are also very easy. And we need lesser line of code to do any task. Correct. One more thing in history is why this language get the name Python. So basically, Mr. Rossum used to see one, TV serial, and in that, there was one the famous character, and the name of that famous character was Python. So when he was developing this language, he thought what name I should give to this language. So immediately in his mind, it came that why not the character that I like the most? Okay, so that's why he gave the name Python to this language. Correct. Now, why we use only Python? Like we have many languages, but why in today's scenario everyone is going behind Python? So main reason is it is the most popular and the widely used programming language. It is used for many advanced things like data analytics, machine learning, big data, and for the designing purpose. It is a more easy programming language to learn. It can be used as an scripting language, or it can be compiled to bytecode for building large application. Also, it provides very high level dynamic data type and support dynamic type checking also. So dynamic data type, as we have discussed in the first slide, that we don't have to give the data type of a variable while declaring any variable. Correct? Now, let's see what are the features. So first is easy to learn and use. So everyone knows and everyone listens this thing that Python is a very easy language to learn. Okay, even a grade 5, 4 student can learn Python very easily. Then it is an expressive language. So um, expressive language, I will give example of this in the later slide. Uh, for now, we can understand like expressive language means it can do more work in lesser line of code. Okay, so you have to write less number of line of code, and that line of code will do more work. Interpreted language because it uses interpreter as a translator. Cross-platform language, so it can be used in any operating system, whether it is Mac, Linux, any operating system. It is free and open source, so you don't have to buy any, license or subscription, anything. Large standard library. So as compared to the other languages, Python has many standard library, which makes it stand out. And that's why we always say that whatever the upcoming technologies are based on Python, because, for example, data analysis, right? So whatever the, in data analysis, we have to use statistics, algebra, many things. So for this, all the syntaxes and libraries you have to use are already inbuilt in Python library. Okay, so you have to just use it. You don't have to write it. You don't have to write the concept basically, right? Extensible language because Python can very easily integrate other language like HTML, CSS, Java. GUI programming support. So GUI is graphical user interface. So as I said that it is used for designing. So GUI programming, so it has a framework called Tkinter that helps you to create a GUI. Okay, interface. Correct. So that's why we say that it is a GUI programming support, dynamically typed because you don't have to declare the data type of your verbal. Object oriented language because it consists of all the concept that is contained in object oriented language, right? These are the features. Now next, if you have to use Python, you have to do programming, the first important thing is you have to install Python. Correct? Now, how to install it? You have to just go and type Python download. The website will be python.org. Okay, you will go there. You will see the download and the latest version of your Python. Just click it there. A exe file will be downloaded. You have to double click the exe file. Then this dialog box will open. Here you have to just click it on install now. Correct? Then you will see this screen that shows that your installation is in progress. And after that, you will get this successful screen message that your uh, installation is completed successfully. Okay. Now, after that, the next thing is interpreter vs compiler. So as I told you that Python use interpreter as a translator, correct? So basically there are two types of translator, interpreter and compiler. So like C language use compiler and uh, Python use interpreter. So what is the difference? Okay, so mainly interpreter will translate the program one state at a time, and if there is an error in that statement, it will not go to the next line until you will solve that uh, problem. While compiler will scan the entire program and then translate it as a whole into machine code, and if there is an error, then it will show all the error with the line number. Okay. Interpreter usually take less time to analyze the source code, obviously, because it have to analyze one line at a time. But the overall execution time is comparatively slower than compiler. Okay, so you can say that this is one of the disadvantage, because everyone says that we always see the advantage of Python, but it's not uh, real. Like everything has some disadvantage. So what is disadvantage of Python? So you can say that this is the one disadvantage, that it has an interpreter as a translator, and interpreter is little bit slower than compiler. So slower than means just a fraction of seconds. Okay, you can't even realize it that it is slower. Correct? Now, compiler take large amount of time to analyze the data. Obviously, fair, because it have to analyze more line of codes, but the overall execution time is faster than the interpreter. Correct? So, this is the difference. Then comes comment. So basically comments are used for documentation, and we always say that it's a very good habit to write comment on each and every line of your program. Okay, and it is for our use, for our understanding. So in Python, if you have to make a line comment, you have to just put this hash sign at the starting of the line. If you have put this hash sign, that means this line is a comment, and you will never get any error in the comment line because it is not interpreted. It is for your understanding. Okay. Let's take a small example. Maybe we will take an example like you are working in an organization, and in that you are doing a project. Now, after you have done your project, you have left your company, your organization, and in your place, someone else has joined. Now, after some time, your client say to make some changes in the project that you have done. So the new person that has joined in your place will see the programming that you have done. Obviously, he will understand because he has the knowledge, but still he will take some time to understand. Why? Because he has to understand the logic that you have used, like how the data is flowing, what are the values we have assigned to the variable, how we are changing the values, all this. Because what happens if you are doing any project, you are solving any problem, and everyone has a different style to solve, we different method to solve a problem. So the new person has to understand what method you have used to solve that problem, right? But if you have written the comments on each and every line, then it will be very easy for him to understand, and it will take less time for him to get the logic. correct? Not even a new joinee. Let's say if you are on the same organization and after few months or year, your client says to make the changes in the project, it's not you know uh, easy to remember what logic you have used years or months before. Okay, so even for you, if you have written the comment, it will be very easy for you to understand the logic or to recall the logic you have used. Okay, so that's the reason we use comments. Then comes syntax. So I always say that mathematics and programming is very close. Okay, so syntax are like formula. In maths, we use formula. And what is it? Formula are exact some expression, and there are some variables and some signs. You have to just put the value in place of variable. Similarly, syntax are the combination of some characters and symbols, and you have to put the values in that. And if we see logically, syntax is a word, Greek word, which means arranged together. Okay, so what it arranges together? It arranges together some characters and symbols. Okay, so basically syntax are like a formula. It's an expression and you have to use it. So for everything you have to use, you have to remember the syntax. If you have to print a statement, if you have to take input, if you have to print the value of a variable, anything you have to do, there is a syntax. Okay, so one more thing, Python is a case sensitive language. Okay, so basically it is fixed that where you have to use the uh, capital letters, okay, and uppercase, and where you have to use the lowercase, right? So this is with that's why we say that it is a case sensitive language. So first of all, we will see the print command, the syntax for the print. So if you want to print any statement, if you want to show any statement as an output, so you have to use a print command. Okay. So print is basically a function, inbuilt function that is used to display anything on the screen. Okay. Why we are saying a function, you can see this is small bracket open and close. So this is a sign of function. Okay. So if this is sign, that means it is a function. So print is an inbuilt function in the Python library that is used to display on the screen, anything on the screen. So what is the syntax? You have to just write print, bracket open, under double quotes, you have to write your statement, double quote close, bracket close. Okay. Whatever you will write under double quote, it will be displayed as it is. Correct. So you can see the example. If I have written print under double quotes hello comma python exclamation sign, so in the output you will see hello comma python exclamation sign. Okay, if you have to take input from user at runtime, that means you are running a program and you want to take the value from the user. Okay, so what is the syntax? You have to just write variable name equals to, then input is an also in inbuilt function again, and this is used to take any value from the user. Okay, so variable name equal to is also known as assignment operator. Input function, so input bracket open, under double quote your statement, double quote close, bracket close. So whatever value you will give, that value will be stored in this variable name. Like here you can see, if I have written user underscore name, this is the my variable name equals to input function, and here I have written what is your name. So in the screen, when you will run the program, in the screen you will see what is your name. So whatever name I will enter, that name will be stored in this variable user underscore name. Correct? Now, if you have to print the value of a variable, so again, if you have to print, that means you need a print statement, print syntax. Okay. But here is a little bit difference. So print under double quotes your statement, comma, variable name. So here statement and variable name is separated by comma, because if you will write variable name under double quote, it will display that variable name, not the value of the variable. Okay, So if you have to display the variable name, it should not be enclosed in double quotes. You can see the example, like I have given user underscore name equals to input, what is your name? Okay, whatever the value user will give, I want to display hello with that name. So print hello under double quote because I want to print that, then comma user underscore name. So this is the name of my variable, user underscore name. So what is your name? Let's say user has given Jennifer, so it will show hello Jennifer. Okay. Now, if we are giving any value, by default it is a string value. Okay, if you have to give any integer value, you have to call the int function. Int is again a inbuilt function that is used to convert string value to integer value. That means character to number. Okay, so uh, num, that is your variable name, equals to int. So int is a function, so that's why bracket open. Then inside that we will call input function because I have to take input from the user. Okay. Then the bracket will open for this input function. Enter any integer, double quote close. First bracket is closed, that is for input function, and second bracket closed, that is for int function. Then print num. So similarly, if you have any decimal value, you want to take input decimal value, then you have to write it here float. Okay. So data type we will be discussing in our later videos. Okay. Now, next is indentation. It is a very important thing. Basically, indentation is used to create a block of code. Okay. So whenever you want to create a block of code, you need to give indentation. And indentation is nothing. You have to give 4 times space bar or 2 times tab. Okay. So you can see here like for I in range, then here there is some space. So this is your indentation. Then if, then again there is some space. So basically this all is a for block. Okay. And this break is under if block. Okay. So this is how you can create a block of code. So here you will give 4 times space bar or 2 times tab. So generally, when we are not in practice, we get the error, indentation error. That means you have given more space or maybe less space. So a space should be exact. 4 space bar or 2 tab. Correct? Now, coming towards the keyword. Basically, keywords are the some reserved words whose meaning are already defined in your Python libraries. You can use these words in your program, but you cannot change its meaning. Okay, and how you can use this in your program? For example, if you have to give any, we have to give any condition. So if is a keyword, okay. If we have to create a class, then class is a keyword. If you have creating a function and you have to return any value, so return is a keyword. Okay, so these are, you can see that keywords. So in Python, you can use these words in your program, but you cannot use these words as your variable name, function name, or any other identifier. Okay. Now, very important is variable. So variable, first of all, are nothing but it's like a box. And when we see box, what happens? We assume that if there is a box, there should be something inside this. So variable are like a box, and inside that we have some value. We have some data. Okay. And the value is always changeable. Variable value is always changeable. Means the data that we have inside in that box is always changeable. Okay. We can also understand it by like this. Uh, for example, if there is a community, so the community has a very large land. Okay. Uh, let's say 10,000 square meter. Okay. Now, and in that community, you have 10 houses. So each house will occupy some space in that whole community, right? So variable are some like same like that. So variable will occupy the space in the memory. Okay. So like we have a community having 10 houses. Each house will occupy some space. Similarly, variable will occupy some space in the memory, right? And how we will identify, like each house has a house number 1, house number 2, which will identify, okay, house number 1 is occupying 200 square meter, 3 is occupying 400 square meter, right? Similarly, we also give variable name, okay, which identifies that this variable is occupying this much of space in memory. And how we will decide that how much space will be occupied, it depends upon the data. So maybe a data will be an string type, so maybe it will contain 1 byte of memory. If it is an integer, maybe it will occupy 2 byte of memory. So depending upon the value data in the variable, it will occupy the memory in the space. Okay. Now, so if we have to give the variable name, there are some constraint. What are the constraint? The variable name will always start with a letter or underscore sign. So you cannot start with a number. Variable name are the combination of number and character and special character. But special character is only underscore. Other than that, you cannot use any special character. As Python is a case sensitive language, so variable are also case sensitive. So you can see I have written age, and age. So these are 3 different variables for Python. Why? Because first age is of all lowercase, second is the combination of upper and lowercase, and third is of all uppercase. So it will treat it as an 3 different variable. Okay. So variable, as I said, is nothing. It will reserve a memory location to store value. Okay. And based on the data type of the variable, the interpreter allocates the memory and decide what can be stored in the reserve memory. Correct? Now, if you have to assign the variable value to the variable, how we can do it? You have to just write the variable name equal to sign, that is assignment operator, and the value. If you have to assign a variable, one variable value to another variable. So how you can do it? You can see A equals to 50, B equals to A. So 50 is assigned to A and A is assigned to B. That means the value of A is 50, so the value of B will also be 50. So you can see always right hand side is the value and left hand side is the variable. Okay. Now, if you have to assign single value to multiple variables, so you can write like this: x equals to y equals to z equals to 50. So 50 will be assigned to all 3 variables. If you have to assign multiple value to multiple variable, so you can write like this: a comma b comma c equals to 5 comma 10 comma 15. So 5, 10 and 15 will be assigned in the ordered manner. That means A will be assigned to 5, B will be assigned to 10 and C will be assigned to 15. Correct? So these are the variable. Now there is one more thing that is called constant. So constant is also a type of variable. The only difference is in constant, the value are fixed. You cannot change the value. But in variable, value are changeable. So like you can see here, A equals to 50. So this is an constant variable. We say it is a constant variable because in the whole program, the value of A will be 50 only. You cannot change it. But if you can see here, yeah, user underscore name equals to input. What is your name? So every time when you will run the program, user can enter different name. So every time the value of user underscore name will be different. Correct? So that's why the value of the variable is always changing. So this is a variable. And constant variable means when the value of that variable is fixed in the whole program. Correct? So these are some of the basic concepts. These are the concepts that are required for any programming. Hope you have understood this and it will be helpful for you in future for starting your programming, right? And if you think that it is helpful for you, then please like, subscribe, and share this channel. And we will continue with this tutorial that is for, especially for the non-tech persons. Okay. So hope this is helpful for you, and thank you very much.